On the move, got the flow so smooth. Spitting rhymes on the podcast, got nothing to prove. He's the host with the most, dropping knowledge every week. From the underground to the mainstream, making the street speak. Step on the stage, Mo grabs the microphone, holding it down, he's in the league of his own. Interviews with the legends, the up-and-coming stars. No topic off limits, pushing the bars. Merle on the move, taking over the game. Keeping it real, never fake, never tame. Hip-hop podcast, bringing the heat. With Merle on the mic, grooving to the beat.
Welcome to the Merle on the Move show, baby. Hey. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. Glad to have you. Big show in store tonight. A lot of stuff happened over the week. I almost jumped in and did a show midweek. So much stuff is going on, okay? So I'm going to go over it real quick. Welcome. Shout out to all the movers. Shout out to the Merle on the Movers. I appreciate y'all. Once again, big round of applause for the Merle on the Movers. You know, the contest, we're going to announce the winner. I'm going to go over some of the people that actually did follow the instructions to try to win that. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate the participation, the likes, thumbs up, the comments on my social. You know, some people comment on social, not on YouTube, which is cool. You know, I think I told you guys to do that anyway. But I appreciate it. So you see the numbers going up. So somebody will be winning one of those clocks. I'm going to announce their name and like all that. So let's get to it. Let's get to the show. So I told you guys, big show. I like to start off with sports. I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of my listeners, a lot of them do like sports. But a lot of my listeners like some of the other stuff I talk about. Anyway, I'm going to start with sports because I'm a big sports guy. I'm not going to get into baseball till later on because right now it's basketball and the NFL draft, baby. The NFL draft happened Thursday, and it was drama all weekend. Now, I'm going to start off with the Lakers because I'm not going to talk about Lakers much because they play tomorrow. That's why hence I'm doing an early show. Usually the Lakers playing right now. Right now Golden State playing. And they're playing without Jimmy Butler. They finna play. They ain't started yet. Game started yet. It's early show. Anyway, but Golden State finna play. Lakers play tomorrow. Lakers lost yesterday. They lost. They lost in Minnesota. Ugly game too. Luka was sick. He started the game off sick. So he wasn't feeling good. He was under the weather. Whatever you want to call it. Hungover. No, I ain't gonna say that about Luka. But he wasn't feeling himself. LeBron was balling. Shout out to the King. He was doing his thing. But they lost, you know. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about the draft. I'm going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. We're going to talk about We're going to talk about We're going to have to talk about right? What? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Keeg, that's my guy. I told you a concert coming up in Waukee. Your boy gonna be there. Participate some other things going on, and we're gonna talk about that draft, Shadur Sanders. We're gonna talk about that. And we also gonna talk about the tariff effect. I've been talking about that. I know I got a lot of flack from some people. Hey, tariffs, y'all quiet. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. And your boy Merle's gonna be doing MCing an event going on here in Ames this coming week, this Thursday on May 1st. And I'll have some specifics about that too. So let's get into the show, baby. Welcome everybody to the Merle on the Move show. Let's get into it. So Lakers lost, I said. I'm expecting them to play better tomorrow. Golden State plays tonight. Denver and LA was playing earlier. I don't know who won that game. I can look into it here in a minute. I don't have anything pulled up. But the main thing I'm really doing the shows this early because I want to talk about Deion and Shadur and Shannon Sharpe. So let me get into the NFL draft. So NFL draft happened Thursday. Now, I've checked out the draft. I watched some of the draft in years past. I've never watched 2-3 days of the draft. I might watch like the first 10 picks, maybe even the first 20 to 25 picks, right? I might. But I don't be all up into the draft like that. Real talk. That's not my thing. But this year I was because I follow Shadur Sanders. I follow Shadur Sanders from when from Jackson State when he was down there because Deion went down there. Like a lot of people, it's not like I'm the only dude who was watching that. A lot of guys, a lot of people were watching that, okay? And because of his son being pretty good down there, it got a lot of other players to come play with him. It wasn't just Coach Prime. It was Shadur. Shadur was good at Jackson. And then when he went to, so the knock on him, okay, what can he do in a Division I school, big program? What can he do against better competition? So they went to Colorado. Deion got a job by the son. Every time it's him and his son. And other players come with him, good players. And they first year wasn't that great, but they won more than Colorado ever won. Not ever won, but hadn't won in years. And it was okay. And then the next year they did better. He went to a bowl game. I don't know if they won that bowl game or not. I need to check into that. Y'all movers, check me out. Let me know in the comments if they win that bowl game this year. I think they did. Anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about the draft and Shadur Sanders. So he was expected to be the second best quarterback, the second quarterback to be picked, right? That was Cam Ward was the number 1 pick. Cam Ward out of Miami, who played against Iowa State in the bowl game, and Iowa State won that. Didn't we win that bowl game? I think we won that bowl game, right? Iowa State won that bowl game. I'm pretty sure we beat Miami, didn't we? Because that's what we played. Y'all can check me on that one, too. It's early in the evening. I used to have all my facts checked before I do the show. But anyway, let's get back to it. Check me out on that one, too, movers. Anyway, back to it. The point is, they played better, and he was a good quarterback, but he had good talent around him. And he was expected to go number 2, at least in the first round. Now, let's back up. Let's talk about who Shadur Sanders is. He's not just Deion's son. He's Deion's son. He prime time. He prime time son. Y'all know why they called him Neon Deion? Huh? Do y'all know why? They called him Neon Deion because the lights. He was so shiny. He lit up. He was the highlight. He had that glow. People came to see him. He was the attraction down in Florida State. He brought the crowd out because they knew he was going to perform. He was an attraction. He wasn't just an athlete. And he played multiple sports on high levels. We talking about his daddy, Deion. And he talked about it. Deion didn't just perform. He wasn't just Bo Jackson. See, it was Deion and Bo Jackson. It was like, they was the best. Bo Jackson was quiet. Bo Jackson ain't talk. He just showed up and did it. And he did it at such a high level that it spoke for itself. Now, he was brash. And he had swag. He just didn't talk a lot. Deion talked a lot. But he backed it all up. And he was flashy. He had songs. He was on talk shows. You know what I mean? He was the dude. Deion was the man. And we loved him for that because he backed it up. Now his son. Now we can compare this to LeBron and Bronny. Bronny didn't come into the league like Shadur was coming to the league. Because LeBron's still a player. But because of his position as a player with the Lakers, he still utilized that for some to help his son get to where he wants. Leveled it out. Leverage. Deion had some in college. Where he went, his son went. And he started as quarterback because he was a coach. In the NFL, Deion ain't working in the NFL. He don't have that pull. So, I'm going to play some clips about his dad. I'm going to play it about his dad first. I'm not going to play about Shadur. Because this draft was not about Shadur Sanders. This draft was about Deion. This was about the league trying to show Deion, you can't call the shots here. You ain't in the league. You in the college league. You ain't in the league, Deion. You can't dictate where your son gonna go, who he gonna play for, and this, that, and the third. And Deion was on different shows, talk shows, and other things, saying such. There you go.
You have said that if the right team does not pick him, that you will intervene.
That's my son. It's not like who I would like for him to play for. It's a couple teams that I won't allow him to play for. It's almost like you got a child that's going into an occupation that you already dominated in. Like, come on. And you don't think I'm not gonna sit there like a navigational system and tell him take a right there, take a left right there, take a, not that, not that, oh, no. Like, that's who I'm called to do. That's my son. I'm not going to let my son get down in no foolishness.
But you and I both know these coaches, these owners, right? You've been in the rooms.
Right.
The owners, billionaire owners,
yes,
will often say, well, this is a young man who should be making his own decisions. You know, he's got this helicopter dad.
Not my son.
You did? You can watch the clip. You see the clip. That's how Deion feel. He feel like he can dictate where his son is going. And Archie Manning did it. Archie Manning did the same thing. I remember when Eli, it was between him and Phillip Rivers. It was 1-2. Okay? And Archie Manning was not in the league. Peyton, his son, was. They didn't pull that with Peyton. Peyton came out of Tennessee and went to the Colts. And Colts was not a good team. And Archie Manning wasn't all over tripping about that, was he? But with his son, his other son, because of what the bravado that Peyton had in the NFL at the time, the NFL was like, well, we can get another one of Peyton. We can get another Peyton Manning. We're willing to do whatever Archie is asking us to do. So they was willing to switch picks because he didn't want to go to San Diego. Because he knew he wasn't going to win no Super Bowl. He didn't want his son, Eli Manning, Archie Manning did not want his son, Eli, going to the San Diego Chargers, which is now the LA Chargers, because he knew his son would not win a Super Bowl, have a chance, or even win one down there. Archie, his daddy, not Eli. Now, Eli's quiet, mild-mannered, but his daddy was out there talking. Wasn't no internet like that, okay? So we didn't know all these stories and inside stories about that. I wonder if Eli and Peyton come out and talk about that, since this happens to Shadur. But that being said, he negotiated that deal. They swapped. He said, if you pick, he told the Giants, if you pick my son, he ain't playing. He'll go to Canada or something. So the Giants, he told the Chargers. Archie told the Chargers, if you pick my son, they had first pick. If you pick my son, he won't play. So the Chargers picked the second best quarterback, and that was Phillip Rivers, which was not a bad move because Phillip Rivers was great. But let's talk about Phillip Rivers. How many Super Bowls? How many Super Bowls Phillip Rivers got? How many Super Bowls did Phillip Rivers even go to? How many chances did he even have? How many Super Bowls does Phillip Rivers go to? How many Super Bowls did Phillip Rivers win as a San Diego Chargers? None. Zero. They ain't playing none. He ain't win none. If I'm wrong, correct me. No, I ain't wrong. How many did Eli win and go to? No, he won 2 over Brady. For sure. He won 2. I think he went to more than 2, but I know for a fact he won 2. So was his daddy right? And reason why Archie did it, because he knew he played in the league, just like Deion. He knew the landscape and how teams and organizations, you have to have a winning attitude from top to bottom, league to the top. And if your organization and your management ain't in order, you're never going to get over that hump. You got to mix it up and change it up to make that happen. Archie knew, because he failed. He played for the Saints. They used to call him the Ace. He used to wear paper bags over their head at the game because they was embarrassed to be a fan. That's the team he played for years. So he wasn't going to have his sons go through that. At least that boy. And it worked. So Deion was like, hey, I'm an orchestrator. I got a little critique, right? I know some people. My son is a good prospect. He proved enough. Put him in. Because when Deion was drafted, this is how he felt. This is his bravado. I got a clip I can show you right now of Deion when he was drafted. A little reel I can show you. Thanks here on your social media. Here you go. Show you a little reel. Show you what I'm talking about.
It looks like you're wearing your signing bonus here. I mean, you know, and plus we have we can see the nice primetime logo already, or what?
Yeah, we got sweatsuits started, jackets started, everything. We got it going on here. Everybody got on jewelry. Even the baby got a little something. We ready now.
Even the baby has jewelry. Your feelings about going to Atlanta, no doubt it was your first preference.
Definitely. Atlanta or Tampa Bay. And Atlanta chose me, and I'm very pleased with that decision. I can't wait to get to town with Coach Campbell and get with them fans down there and pack them in there.
When Detroit took the other Sanders, I saw a big grin come across your face.
Man, I was so happy. But I was kind of scared. I thought Detroit was going to take me. I would have asked for so much money that I had to put me on layaway.
On layaway, huh? No baseball's leverage there, huh?
No.
Now, after watching that reel, you see what I'm saying? That's him, though. That's not his son. Now, his son was drafted, okay? After 3 days, I watched it. I watched the first day of the draft, no action. I watched a lot of it. I was going back and forth between the games and still watching it. I watched the second day of the draft on Friday. I'm like, they're going to call his name. I wanted to see it. I wanted to hear them say Shadur Sanders. I wanted to see his reaction live. I wanted to see it. Because I'm pulling for him. I was going to buy one of his jerseys when he was in college. I like him. Because I like his pops. And I like the way he played ball. I watched him. He was good. Like a Cam Newton. Remind me of Cam Newton a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. That's what he reminded me of. So, day 3 is today. And I'm like, what's going on? I stopped watching it. I had to go wash my car. I had to wash The Dark Knight. That's what I call my 300. Anyway, so I'm out in the streets a little bit, bending some corners. And I come back. He got picked. 5th round. To the Cleveland Browns. They already picked the quarterback. They picked the college quarterback before him. They picked the quarterback. They got the quarterback, Flacco. Joe Flacco. Who got a ring with the Ravens, but then he went to the Jets or some other team. He was at the Jets, and then he was the Colts. He was with the Colts for a minute, and now by default he playing for because Deshaun Jackson got hurt. Deshaun Jackson. The Sean. I can't think of his last name. That guy, the other quarterback. I can't think of his name. Deshaun Watson. I think that's his name. Anyway, he got hurt, Achilles or something, and Joe was playing for him. And then they got another quarterback from Pittsburgh, and he was like 3rd year or something like that, and wasn't playing good there. So Shadur got a shot, but why you pick him then? But shout out to Shadur, because I want to show the difference. You know, a lot of people, I can show you some clips about him, saying that, he carries himself a certain way. They was getting on him about saying legendary, hashtag saying he's legendary. It is legendary. His dad's son. And he does some legendary things in college in the HBCU. He did some legendary things there. He did some legendary things in Colorado. They love him there. So yeah, he's supposed to have that. They was talking about Baker Mayfield had that bravado. Johnny football had that bravado, right? And yeah, but check out this clip that I got. I got the moment when he heard that he got drafted, right? His brother Shiloh, shout out Shiloh. I think Shiloh got drafted too. I'm not sure. Y'all let me know. I ain't checked that out or not. If Shiloh got drafted, but you know what I mean. Here's the clip. Look at his face. He went 5th round to the Browns, and look how happy he looked. Him and his family.
The 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select
What we talking about? What we talking about, yo? You feel me? You see that? You see how he's still a young D. He got drafted to the NFL. Maybe it didn't happen the way he wanted to or what he expected it, but he made it. And yeah, he lost money. They say he lost maybe $30 million going, dropping down to the 5th round. But that was the the owners. See how we still call them owners? And you see how they come up and they hug Roger Goodell? They hug him like that's they daddy. I'm tripping though. I was looking at that. I was like, I mean, some of them was like bear hugging him, like trying to pick him up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the, I mean, I guess you're getting millions of dollars. So yeah, especially the first 20 of them. The first round, you getting paid. So yeah, I would. I'm like, oh Roger. Yeah, I'm like that too though. I ain't mad. It's just, you know, on the outside looking in, it's just like, ah, you hugging this white dude like that, bro. That ain't your pops. Anyway, this Merle on the Move. We gonna keep it moving, man. Now don't forget, it's merleonthemove.com. You know what I'm saying? Get you some of the swag, get you some of the gear. You know what it is. It's Merle on the Move. MOTM, you know, all day long. Check out that store. I appreciate everybody that's been going over there and checking it out and clicking on the things, t-shirts, and you know what I mean? And we're going to keep that going, keep merchandise popping up too, you know. Keep that going, pop that up right there just to show y'all that we ain't playing, baby. There's other things besides the logo in the store too that if you're interested in, you know, get swagged out for a Saturday night, for sure. Anyway, back to it. So let's talk about, shout out to Shadur Sanders. You know, I'm going to wrap that up right there. And we're going to move on over to Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. Club Shay Shay. He's also on ESPN. He's a commentator with Stephen A. Smith. They do First Take. And Shannon's not on there all the time. He's a contributor. He's on there during football season and basketball season. And he's only for like 2 days of the week, I believe. But because he does his own thing on YouTube. Just like you got Merle on the Move right here, does his own thing on YouTube, baby. And he does his own podcast and his 2 shows. He does Nightcap and he also does Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay is where he does the big sit-down interviews with celebrities and sports people. And that's the one that he ran up with Cat Williams and got all those views and got a big check from it, from YouTube. Got money. He got paid off YouTube of that video. It caused a lot of controversy on social media and in the streets. I shouldn't say the streets. Social media streets, I should say. But, you know, he's a Hall of Famer football player. I like Shannon. I like Shannon before he was on there with Skip Bayless. I still like Shannon. So what I'm finna say ain't gonna change how I feel about him and his commentary. I don't know him, but his commentary's been great. I'm gonna speak about that too, because he did another show. He did a show today, or was it yesterday? I think he did it today. He ain't hiding. He just ain't on ESPN. So because of this action, this lawsuit by what's the guy's name? Tony Busby, and this young lady. I think she's 22 years old, but when he met her, she was 19, and he started talking and messing around, and they've been messing around for a couple of years. So she's young. Shannon is 56. I guess when he met her, she was 53 or something like that. Still old. And they weren't in a relationship is what I'm hearing. I can't remember the lady's name, the girl's name. She has a OnlyFans. Y'all know the name by now. People that's following the story, you know the story. I don't know the lady's name. I'll put it up here. I might put a picture up here too. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Everybody else been doing that. But I'm just gonna tell you what I'm saying. My thing is not about her. My thing's about Shannon. Yeah, it came out that he offered to pay $10 million, okay, before this drop. But he came out a week prior to any of this coming out saying that, hey, I'm about to get a $100 million podcast deal. $100 million for podcast deal. Big money. Hey, Merle on the Move right here available. No scandals, no background. You know, I don't know about that. But anyway, I feel pretty good over here. You know, I'm some normal guy over here, normal human, trying to be a good human. We humans first all the time, right? But Shannon had a deal for getting $100 million. He announced it. He should have got the deal and then be like, ooh, got a $100 million deal. Ooh, they would have announced it. But you announced that you about to get one. As soon as that came out and you already had this $10 million deal on the table, possibly, supposedly, hypothetically, I don't know if this is true, before you got the money. So as soon as they called wind of that, they're like, oh, numbers up, baby, half. At least that's a negotiating. We'll start at 50. You might come down to 25, 30. And he like, hold up, wait a minute. No. We was doing this at 10. And he like, in my mind, I'm only set in his mind, possibly, don't know this to be true. In his mind, maybe I'm only giving you this 10 because I don't want it to come out. Not that I'm guilty or nothing. because, this is bogus. I think it set me up anyway. I'm just going to give you this 10 just to go on because I've got other things going on. If you want to break up and you want to take this 10 because you don't want, you know what I'm saying, you don't deal with me no more because you mad about that Instagram little video coming out or whatever it is, that's whatever. Now, I'm guessing. I don't know this to be true, but maybe that's what he was trying to do. You're trying to give it a little $10 million to go on about your business because he don't want all this sex stuff he been doing with her to come out. Not thinking or not feeling that, hey, it's illegal. I'm going to get in trouble. I just don't want people knowing I'm doing my bedroom. Because you got to remember, just 2 or 3 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, they were just saying Shannon was gay. They were just saying Shannon Sharpe. Is it right before the Cat Williams video, interview? It was either right before the Cat Williams interview or right directly after the Cat Williams video. They was calling Shannon gay. Legit. They were saying that he was wearing them tight sweatpants. They was putting pictures on the Shade Room and stuff like that in these tight sweatpants. Y'all seen them pictures of him on Shade Room? Come on Hollywood Unlocked. Y'all seen them pictures trying to paint this picture of this man being gay, trying to show imprints of his package and all that. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? I ain't capping. I ain't making this up. They were trying to say this man was gay, and then he accidentally released a video of him having sex on Instagram that was like 13 minutes long. You know what I'm talking about? This is social media, because he's trying to stay relevant. He had his numbers up at that cat was the highest it's ever been. And that's how YouTube is. Same with me. I'm checking numbers. When my numbers is up, I'm like, oh, look at that one. So what did I do to make the numbers go up on that one? And if you're getting paid like him and being a celebrity he is, he's trying to recreate that as much as possible, right? So he's doing little things to stay relevant. Kevin Gates also does that. That's why he was trying to say that about Savannah and going to the game with the Lakers game. That's another thing, though. I'm going to skip on past. I ain't want to talk about that either because we all know who Kevin Gates is and what he does. So we're going past that. Yeah, that's what I'm on. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So now it's bigger than that. So he stepped away from ESPN, not fired, but he ain't coming back until this is over. But he's got his own production. So shout out to him. He's got his own thing. He hasn't done anything criminal. Nobody's banning him from anything. You know what I mean? But it's going to be certain people that step away from him. As long as it's not a whole lot of other accusations coming out. You know, like Monique he's calling him, you know what I'm saying, that, he's a hypocrite because, it was an interview with him and Donnell Rollins. And Donnell has a baby with a younger lady. And he was interviewing Donnell, and he was giving Donnell a lot of flack but being as old as he is, having a baby with a younger woman. And, okay, well, Shannon, you have a baby with this woman, but you dig what I'm saying? You can't live in a glass house and throw stones, bro. So I ain't criticizing him. Real talk. You got to do what you got to do. But what I am criticizing is what you was doing. Because what you was doing with that young girl, that should have never got out. So, and that's where you mess up at. When you're messing with a young girl, they gonna do that to you. So, that being said, brother, power to you. Let's move on to what the scope of the story with Shannon is. So, he did a show today, or like I said, today or yesterday. And Ocho Cinco was on there. And my man, ISO Joe. Yeah, basketball player, Joe Johnson. Call him ISO Joe because isolation basketball, he cook you. Real talk. So, they were on the show, and they did talk about, I can kind of tell when Shannon was talking, he kind of felt emotional, but he never brought up what's going on with him. And he didn't have to. That's not what it's about. He was on there talking about Shadur. So he wasn't talking about what's going on with that. But you can tell it was looming. It was weighing on him. It was definitely weighing on his shoulders, no doubt. So, if he continues to do his show, it's going to come out, boy. It's going to be, and I know you got attorneys, you got lawyers, because you cannot speak about it's ongoing. You cannot speak on it right now. So how can you have guests? You need to do what I'm doing, sit down and just talk. Because if you got guests, because people still want to hear what you got to say about sports. And I know you want to talk about the Lakers, because that's your spiel. And I know Bubba Dub love you, bro. You know what I mean? And my man, Urban Politicians, he gives the scoop. He got respect for you. Urban Politicians, he did a real good. I watch him a lot. He did a real good little story on Shannon. I like the way he broke it down. Ain't nobody against the brother, but it's when you get to the age, you know, that's what it is. Ageism. It's all kind of terms when people be trying to come at people about, boy, ageism. Anyway, I also wanted to say that if Shannon continues to do his show, it's gonna be some people that press him, and the way he handles that, I'm sure, like I said, his attorneys don't want him talking about that. I'm sure I don't know why they advise him not to do it. Because if somebody press you and press him and ask him questions, how he can't fold. If he folds, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for him. So I want to talk about Keeg. So I'm moving on from Shannon Sharpe. That happened, you know, whatever. Keeg, my guy was on Breakfast Club, and he did interview Charlamagne. And I want to talk about Charlamagne's etiquette again. I talked about this before. And it goes overlooked because people ain't saying nothing about it. And to me, and he says this too, the best apology is change behavior. In this interview with Keeg, I'm listening to it in the current. He's bumping the table. He's bumping the table. You can hear him. Boom. Listen. He's bumping the table the whole interview. The whole time he's talking to Keeg, he's bumping the table. You ought to know better. In the morning, he's chewing, he's eating on the mic. You know, he yawns all the time. I think they called him out one time about the yawning. He does all this stuff on the mic. His etiquette sucks. And the interview, he was trying to, I don't know if he was trying to press Glock or set him up. He was being goofy in the interview. And I'm not saying I don't disrespect or I don't dislike Charlamagne. I don't respect his etiquette on the radio because he didn't took a step back because he got so much going on, I believe. I believe to him, radio is just a promotional vehicle for his other endeavors. He uses radio for his for promotion, to talk about his other things, to get other people involved. And that's not a bad thing. It's smart, actually. Shout out, I'm trying to do the same thing one time. So I ain't hating on that. But you guys still respect the art form. You can't be disrespectful on the microphone. That's one thing I do know. You have to have some radio etiquette. You have to. Respect your listeners. They don't want to hear you smacking and eating and yawning and bumping the table through the interviews. They trying to hear what you're saying. They're trying to hear what the other person is saying. And shout out to Envy. Never heard none of that flaws from you. You know what I mean? And Envy, you ain't my guy or nothing, but shout out to you, though. You are a professional radio person, and you carry yourself as such. And the feedback with the gay things he was trying to hit, I guess you kind of, they made a video or something. It was asking Keeg about it. Jess was reading it, what it said on Reddit. I think it was on Reddit or something. And he was confused, and it kind of made him look weird or something, and he didn't like that. And I didn't like it either, because it wasn't real. Charlamagne was laughing and stuff. So anyway, my man Keeg is my guy. He also talked about Dolph, how he's not like Dolph, even though that's his cousin, and they did a lot of music together. And he love him, no doubt. He ride with him. Don't say nothing crazy about Dolph. He there. But he's not Dolph. He ain't trying. So he went. Keeg signed a deal with a major. I forget the name of the major record label he signed with, but he signed a deal with a major label. And they was asking him on the Breakfast Club. When the Breakfast Club was asking him, I forget. It might have been Charlamagne or Envy, or it might have been Jess. Anyway, was asking him why did he sign a major? Did he want to stay independent? And he was like, that was Dolph's thing. You know what I'm saying? He loved bro. You know what I mean? And that was his thing. That was never Glock's thing. You know, he said his thing was that I want to be a successful independent as far as I could, and then go global. That's what he's doing. So, shout out to Keeg. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Entertainment, movies is what movies? I know what movies coming out. Sinners. You know, I still haven't seen that yet. I gotta go see that. I'm gonna move past movies anyway. So I want to talk about the economy. We're gonna talk about the economy because things are. I know people be like tariffs. What is tariffs? What is the effect? You ain't really seeing it yet, right? You see it in gas a little bit, but you're gonna start seeing it in the grocery stores. All right. I'm gonna show a clip. I believe it's MSNBC, and this is some real stuff that's about to happen. And major retailers like Walmart, Target, the places that we go to get our necessities, they're worrying because the shelves and the stockpile is going to be bare. Okay? Check this out.
First, there's detailed data on the inventories and supply chains. So it shows when American stores will be running out of these products, many of which have some foreign ingredient in them, and they're running out of what was purchased before the tariff war began. Second, some of America's largest companies track all of this because it's their whole business and expertise. This is what they do, so they're all over it. And they are now formally warning about the coming Trump slump any way they can, which includes what I'm about to show you, the largest employer in America, Walmart, which has over 1.5 million employees. They employ more Americans than any other company. And the Walmart chief just joined an attempted Trump tariff intervention, along with the CEOs of the other huge retailers, Target and Home Depot, to privately warn Trump that his tariffs, let's take this in full, I want people to be able to see this, his tariffs, you can read along, the tariff and trade policy will not only disrupt supply chains and raise prices, it will lead to empty shelves.
Yeah. So if you ain't got to believe it. A lot of people don't watch the news. I understand that. A lot of people do not watch the news. But it's going to happen anyway. You ain't got to watch the news. You will feel it. If things don't go back, don't reverse, if we don't change course, this summer, inflation ain't nothing. Because it ain't going to be nothing in the stores. The things that you get, like the shoes you get, the clothing you get, it's going to be a trickle. Like Jordan, the things you have in this country, it's going to be a luxury. You got to hold on to it. It ain't going to be ready supply. Because in China, you got to remember, China in the 80s, they wasn't buying TVs and digital cameras and stuff. They were making them, but they weren't even buying them. They didn't have the money. China was a poor country in the 70s and 80s. They started booming in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then their economy started booming because their people started having money. And they started buying the same stuff they was buying here. So it was an overflow of stuff. That's why TVs are so cheap. TVs ain't cheap because it's cheap to make them. It's so many of them. So for you to sell them, you had to drop the price. Because there's so many TVs, it's oversaturated. When flat screens first came out, they was expensive. Y'all know the flat screens was expensive. 70-inch TVs, $3,000. $3,000 for 70-inch TVs. Years ago. Now, you go to Walmart, you get a 70-inch TV for $454. $454, 70-inch TV. You don't know the name brand. You never heard of the company that made that TV before. It's some company in China. You ain't never heard of them. But it's a 70-inch TV, and you buy it, put it on your wall, and it be fresh. Watching Merle on the Move on YouTube on your 70-inch TV you just bought for $454. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Real talk. So, but on some real though, we gotta be better as humans. And that's what's getting lost. Everybody trying to fight for position and recognition and want to be seen. You know, I didn't even talk about the Kanye tweet because I don't want to talk about it no more. Who wants to keep getting distracted? I don't want to talk about 47 selling new hats for $50. Talk about 2028. Make it again in 2028. Talking about running again. 2028. That's against the law. It says in the Constitution, you can only have 2 terms, period. Don't care, you ain't got to be back to back. It's 2 terms, period. They don't care if it was 18 years in between. It's 2 terms, period. Obama can't come back. That's why he's trying to sell a shirt to say, change the laws. Change the laws means change the Constitution. Ain't that what the military people fought for? To protect the Constitution, not change it. But that's what we're talking about, though. It's like Jerry Seinfeld. I read his book, but he got an episode on Seinfeld, and it's called A Bizarro Universe. It's where he's a big fan of Superman, and the alternate Superman is the Bizarro Superman. It's an upside down universe. Up is down, down is up, and that's what it feels like. Instead of using technology to better, because they were saying years ago technology was going to make life easier for us. You know what I mean? A lot of people can work from home and receive money off AI to where you wouldn't have to work. Real talk, it was a thing. And they were like, no, if you going to pay people to stay at home, I had to work for mine. They better get out and work for theirs. Yeah, because you're supposed to make the next generation better than your generation. And this generation is like, no, they greedy. They want it for themselves. They don't want to leave nothing left. They don't want to leave the next generation in a better condition. They want to take from that generation to make their situation better so they can leave it better for their kids, not the nation. While leaning on making the world, this country better again. Leaning on the phrase. Leaning on, I was elected by the people and you wasn't. Leaning on that. It's all lies. And then when you get called out for the lies, you bully, point your finger, and try to suppress the person. That's been this country forever, though. That's been this country forever. It's up to us to be the change. We have to be the change. That's why I'm going to speak up. This Thursday, I am going to speak up. Because I believe in a change. And a change comes within the people. When the people agree and the people unite, change happens. Period. Point blank. Ain't no discussion. When the people believe and the people unite in that belief, things happen. Boom. Yeah. So that's what I'm leaning into. I'm leaning into change happening. I want change to happen because this has happened fast. It ain't been 100 days and people's stocks, 401ks, been in 100 days. Pretty soon it's going into a run out. And they're like, well, so the rich people can hang on. The poor people like, man, my little bit I had saved up is zzz. Then they poor, homeless. And then people turn their nose up on them, want to give them tickets and put them in jail for being homeless. Anyway, this is Merle on the Move, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. I don't know how long our show been, but I've loved doing it this evening. And like I said, be a good human, put humans first. Don't forget merleonthemove.com. Check out your boy. Support yours, support your own. Great show. Peace.